Let's start enjoying your food memories because that's what you came for. Your first one, this is a very telling memory for me. It's crepes with lemon juice and sugar.
This one is all about my beautiful dad. So I think credit where credit is due. From the moment I can remember, Mum has cooked every single meal I've ever eaten in the family home. She is a beautiful cook. She puts love into her cooking, and every time we sit at the family table, it's a meal that she's prepared. My dad is the biggest francophile I've ever met, and the only things he's mastered how to make are profiteroles and crepes, and by God, are they good. Anyway, when I was a kid growing up, Dad's crepes or pancakes were kind of known far and wide for how good they were. And there's that, I think it might be the second Tuesday in February is Pancake Tuesday. I believe it's a kickback to a religious celebration somehow linked to Lent. I actually don't know the origins of it. All I know is that every second Tuesday of February, Mum and Dad would invite all of their family friends over. So maybe there was 50 or 60 people in the house. And Dad would cook hundreds of crepes for all the family friends. But my brother Cam and I would always get the first ones, and it felt like this real honour. And Cam liked to have his with jam. I think it was probably raspberry jam and whipped cream. But I would love it sprinkled with caster sugar and then drizzled with lemon juice and rolled up. And thinking about those crepes takes me back to really balmy daylight savings evenings after school. Cam and I sitting on the trampoline in our back garden eating the first crepes out of the pan, watching Mum and Dad's friends trickle in, and the house just be filled with the smell of like frying butter and happy laughter and like community. It's a very, very happy memory for me, and I actually feel like one of Dad's crepes now.
Right now, but so Pancake Tuesday, also known as Shrove Tuesday,
Tuesday, that's right,
is the beginning of Lent. And thinking that I thought it was a tradition that your Northern Irish Catholic mother would have brought into the family, but it's the beginning of Lent, and the tradition is they use up all the non-fasting foods like the butter, the milk, the eggs. So all that gets used up. So that's what that's about. Does your dad still make them?
He hasn't made one in a long time. And Bob Reid, if you're out there listening, this is maybe a call to arms. We'll be down in half an hour.
Your second memory, this will be for many of us listening here in Australia. It's the Baker's Delight custard scroll.
Oh, make me more hungry. How good is the Baker's Delight custard scroll?
You tell us.
It's like perfect white bread. Like the white bread of our childhoods. You know, all Australian kids would have been brought up on probably tip-top sandwiches or, you know, toast with Vegemite. It's that beautiful white bread rippled with that perfect vanilla-y bakery creme patissiere that's riddled through it and then topped with a slab of coconut whip icing. Like, tell me you don't want that now. And like Mum, being Mum and being Irish, would cut it in half and slather it with butter.
So would I.
Do you know, actually, we're in Sydney at the moment, and my favourite baked good in Sydney is the finger bun
at Humble.
Snap again. And I love that because that takes me back to this memory. It's full nostalgic.
I see it every morning after Pilates. Humble is just right on my walk home.
That is so dangerous.
It's
not for you, obviously. It would be for me. I would have it every day if I walked past it every day. So good. Shout out to Humble.
So you would have these scrolls with Dad at the racetrack?
Yes. So, I mean, this beautiful memory of Formula One with my father. We would go to the Australian Grand Prix every year for the 4 days, and I mean, there's incredible food offerings at the AusGP now, one of them being a loon stand, which I'm incredibly proud of. But back then there was like the hot chips, the beer, and the Peters Magnums. Peters or Streets? I think it's Peters. Whatever, the ice cream stand. And so Dad and I would come with a cut lunch. And for morning tea, we would always go to Baker's Delight and get the custard scroll, and then we'd have our sandwich made up for us, and then we would have an ice cream in the afternoon. But there was that magical moment where, you know, it was maybe between races on circuit. Dad would pull out the big thermos of hot water. He'd have a coffee. I'd have a tea. and we'd have our custard scrolls and sitting trackside with my dad at my favourite event of the year, watching maybe the Formula Fords or the Formula Vs or the celebrity race, which they don't do anymore. I think to the disservice of the Grand Prix, it was always very funny. But just having, it's again, food becoming part of a social situation and a memory. And yeah, I can't even imagine my childhood without those moments.
Let's go to your third food memory now. Lucky last.
Gin. Please.
Having your first ever Parisian croissant.
Oh, that's ending on a high note, isn't it?
When you actually appreciated what it was like to eat again.
Yeah. So this didn't happen at the boulangerie that I ended up training at. I think a lot of people would assume that it did. But I'd booked myself this ticket to Paris. My two friends, Mary and Al, spontaneously decided to come with me. And the very first morning that the three of us woke up in Paris, we went to the 5th arrondissement, which is one of the oldest quarters in Paris. And we went to one of those open-air street markets where, you know, you're on a pedestrianised street, but all of the food shops and produce, like the fromagerie, the bakery, the boulangerie, they all have counters that open out onto the street. And we were all starving, you know, like not hungover, we were jet lagged, and we all had it in our sights that we wanted a croissant. So we went to, I think it was the Boulangerie Mouffetard, whatever, the pronunciation was probably awful. And we were presented with this spectacular counter of beautiful baked goods. And we all ordered a croissant and it was given to us each in a little paper bag. And I remember we walked over to one of those high cocktail tables that was placed out onto the street and stood there. And I opened the bag and I remember I can place myself back in the moment being hit with the smell of French butter. And for me, that was maybe the first time I'd ever experienced with a knowing mind that I'd never experienced a croissant like this before. Like it as much as I love Baker's Delight, their croissants were not this French butter croissant. And for me, it was that moment where I thought, a croissant really is a celebration of the butter that it's made with, and this one is a grand celebration. So next, I kind of looked at the croissant, and for the first time really beholding this pastry, I could see the perfectly defined layers. And it was like an architectural work of art. And then you get to eat it, which is, I guess it's that moment of, you know, you've been building up and waiting to this moment, and finally you get to sink your teeth into this warm pastry that you could already smell the butter of before your mouth was anywhere near it. And when you bit into it, the shell of the pastry shattered and gave way to warm, slightly tacky, soft layers of butter-enriched dough, and also a little whiff of buttery steam coming out. And it was truly a life-changing moment.